It's me, Jimmy T. Merriweather with PMU. Today, teach you PMU technique with paper and pencils. By learning this technique, you can use it for micro shading, lip brushing, eyeliner, SMP Scalp Micropigmentation. Of course, you can practice microblading by using paper and pencil. Okay, my hand like this. Okay, make it easier for you now by using pencils to explain to you like couple technique. Okay, now first of all, like shading technique. Okay, usually is 90 degrees. Okay, and then when advanced artists, they would go a little bit angle, but we start at basic first, 90 degrees. Okay, because of the camera, I want you to see better, so I make it a little bit on the side now. Is shading, okay, this pinky fingers always as a stand. I know you will get very tired in the beginning, but you need to practice. So now the pen is holding in between the middle fingers and the index fingers. Okay, the ring fingers we don't use much, so we're hiding. So the first technique is the whip to you technique. Okay, hopefully this way you will see better. Okay, whip to you is this action is whip. Okay, whip to you is PMU shading technique. Okay, so like this shading. Now whip to you is one direction. Okay, so on the side, like you little bit angle. How about this? Let me draw a line, you will see better. Like assume this is a skin. So the needles is little bit about the skin and then like whip. Okay, one direction. Okay, so whip to you, shading. Okay, simple way. Now whip to you have two techniques. Okay, you need to remember each line not necessarily all the same. Okay, so you should do is like one and then another one a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. Okay, why to do that? Because of when you do shading, so when you continue to do the shading, you pretty much like this is the end point, right? That the end point will be your center point to shade again. Now that will be your center point to shade again. So the shading will be connected. Okay, now number two, the shading technique whip to you is some people do this way. Okay, so they do 1, 2, 3 and then move this direction a little bit. Okay, 1, 2, 3, move this direction a little bit. Okay, another way is you do like this, each line move a little bit and then shade back a little bit. So this shading, I would like this one better. Okay, now this is whip to you technique, one direction. Okay, so another way is opposite. Whip from you is start right here. Okay, so now from the side view is whip one direction. So of course you can do this way is a lot of density and then move a little bit, 1, 2, 3, 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 move a little bit. or you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, keep moving. This is rip from you technique. Now another one is, this is one direction, this is one direction. Now this is pendulum, it's two direction like this. This is two direction. One, two, three, move a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 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 move a little bit. Okay, of course you can do this. This is two direction, okay? Look like painting, like this. Okay, on the side wheel is exactly like this. Okay, so now another one is PMU lining technique. PMU lining technique is a small movement of the pendulum. Now this one move a little bit bigger, right? And then but lining is move, the swing is a little bit smaller. So move one, back half, 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 move one, back half. Okay, how about my pencil? Move it on the side, you can see better. So I do this way. Okay, move one, back half, move one, back half, move one, back half, move one. Okay, so how about I do this one easier? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, back half, 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 1. Okay, this is PMU lining technique. Now of course PMU lining technique you can do the opposite, is 1, okay, this is PMU lining technique. Now PMU lining technique can combine with the shading technique, is you create your hand speed. Okay, so let's say your hand like moving fast will be actually is create dot. When you slow, that will be create a line. So you shade a little bit faster and then like do this and then do shading fast. So same with lining plus shading technique together, like pendulum. When you do advanced, you not necessarily go one, go half. Sometimes like go one, go half, and then like you shave a little bit, okay, and then go one. So look like flying. Okay, now another lining technique is the dragging technique. Dragging technique is, now you need to hold the pen. Okay, this is top view. little bit angle, like 80 degrees. 80 degrees, you fill up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 move forward. Now on the side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just look like filling up something. So one more time to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, when you do advanced, you can like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then when you go back, you overlap a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's filling up. But technically is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that. Of course, you can do the dragging technique, but opposite way. Now you pushing another angle. Now this will be more harder. So let me do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that. This is from you. Now another one is a circle technique. Circle technique is circle, right? So you same thing with the dragging technique, but you hold the pen like this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, on the side is like your needle move a little bit. Okay, little bit smaller circle, some circle a little bit bigger. So now when you do this, make sure you circle it on the right amount each time. Otherwise, it's not quite even. Look like you're filling up something. Okay, now this is usually using a lot with the eyeliner or some brow, some area. Like the brows sometimes is like not quite even. Some of them, right? No matter how you're shading some area, this one you cannot do. Fill up the color, so you're using a little bit soft circling technique. Now, after the circling technique is called pointillism. Pointillism is a dot. Pointillism, same thing. You cannot do 90 degrees. Okay, 90 degrees is create too much trauma, or you will easy to get very deep into the skin. So we hold the pen 80 degrees and then dot. It's like pointillism. Now SMP is 100%. Okay, using the pointillism. Okay, now pointillism is like this. Let's say this is the skin. When you point it into the skin, is like this. Okay, you don't want to do this into the skin, otherwise it's easier to go really deep, and then because of the force is too much, easier to spread it out. So a little bit about the skin and then punch it in. So of course pointillism you can do the brows, but when you're doing to the brow some area, okay, cannot do too much. I don't recommend you do the whole brows. Now this is the basic technique on the paper. This is easier to explain to you. Hopefully you can practice with the paper so you get a feeling of. Okay, now this is the ombre brows though. Okay, the basic. Okay, so the ombre brows, like basically you, okay, using the pencil to explain to you. Now first of all, you need to do a outlining. Now usually we do the outlining on the tail first. Okay, now outlining, do you remember I teach you another technique is the lining technique? Okay, you do 1, 2, go back, go 1, go back half, 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 go one, go back half, go one, go back half, go one, go back half. Slow, okay, lining technique. Okay, of course on the head we do little bit of shading. Okay, you don't want to go too deep, too dark, okay? So the tail, the same thing. Now finish the lining. Of course you're going to do the another side. Now the shading is whip to you, okay, or try to whip to you technique. Whip to you technique is shading. Okay, basically this is the first pass, okay? First pass, and then the second pass we go over the same thing. Okay, the second pass, the third pass. Okay, so final is a touch-up pass. Touch-up pass is little bit more fancy. Of course, you can do little bit angle. basically this is the basic ombre brows. So now this is a kind of lip brushing procedures, okay? The same thing, like ombre brow, like we're going to do outline, but lip brushing is like harder when you stretch the skin. Now, besides the stretching the skin, okay, for the pencil, so I tell you what usually the procedures I would like to use in the middle. So same thing, the lining technique, okay? So a little bit shading right here. So lining technique. Okay. Close. Shading and then lining. And then like this one, a little bit shading. Shading and then lining. Okay, after we're done, so we can using the hand to stretch the skin. Okay, now back to lower lips. So in the lower lips, I try to do some Inside of here, we do a little bit angle. Do same thing, upper lips, instead of we do this, we do a little bit angle. Okay, the third part. Okay, before we do this one, right, we do a little bit opposite this angle. And of course, a little bit angle always harder, you know. Do a little bit touch up in between pass. Okay, same thing before we do this one, right? We do the opposite. Okay, now the final is a touch-up pass. Touch-up pass, we want to shading with the grain. Let's say this one. Of course, outline, you can do a little bit more outline shading, make it more outstanding. Okay, so now same thing right here with the grain. Okay, this is lip brushing. Okay, now for the eyeliner is using the dragging technique. So eyeliner, be careful, okay? So this area is very tough. Those area is very tough. We don't want to go all the way. So in this area, like with dragging technique, now be careful the position I start, okay? Okay. Dragging technique is start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now here is like we can do a little bit shading. Now here, everyone have a blue line. We cannot go lower than the blue line, so we need to do on top of the blue line. So usually it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Now this area we only can do a shading. Okay, only can do shading. Very soft shading. Okay, very soft shading. Now this is upper eyeliner, and then second one is still using dragging technique, but we're using dragging technique to fill up everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You feel like filling up. Filling up the gap. And then here is a little bit shading. So now this is the first pass, okay? The second pass is what? Okay, you using the circle. Okay, now here is shading, right? Shading, and inside here circle. Okay, at the end you only can do a little bit shading. Okay, now go over a little bit. Now you can using like pendulum lining technique. Okay, basically the second part, the third part, if necessary, okay, do a little bit touch up here. You can do shading or like circle a little bit, or some area you need to like do dragging technique. Okay, very gentle. Okay, or a little bit shading. Now some area if you cannot do, you can do a little bit pointillism. Okay, this is 2 pass with 1 touch-up pass. Okay. Now the lower eyeliner, basically you need to do here, okay, is shading. Okay, start around here, you can do the dragging technique. And then the tail, do a little bit shading. Okay, the first pass. The second pass, we still do a little bit shading. So you can still do a little bit dragging technique. And then underneath do a little bit shading. Okay, of course the third part is if necessary, okay, do a little bit touch up, do a little bit touch up here, do a little bit touch up here. Now on the tail, same thing. If it doesn't take in, you can do point to this a little bit. Okay, this is eyeliner. So now this is the SMP, Scalp Micropigmentation. Now Scalp Micropigmentation, we don't say is doing pass. Okay, we're doing by sections. In between sections, we need 10 days at least. Okay, so the first sessions you want to do is like create density. So the first session, okay, hopefully you see better. Okay, of course I do a little bit touch up. Okay, oh, here missing one dot. Okay, here missing one. Okay, now this is basically the first sections. Okay, now after 10 days, the second sessions coming is create more density. So the dot is in between. So the first dot, okay, now this is pretty much okay done. But yeah, if you see like a little bit open spot, like do a little bit touch up. Make sure your customer nice before they go home. So now this is the second section. Now the third section after 10 days, something like that. Okay, so make it sharper pencil, so create more density. This is Scalp Micropigmentation. So now the fourth session, you can start like in the middle first. Okay, the last section is over. Oh, see, okay, here a little bit more, here a little bit more, you know. It's like look like laser skin. Okay, here, here. So this is called micropigmentation. Now this is a little bit extra. Instead of I'm using the pencils, okay. I know it's a little bit too tired to use, so you can draw a little bit smaller circle for the first time, and then using some permanent marker. So to do, okay, this is the first section. It's okay. Okay, oh, okay, this first section, okay, the second section is in between. Now you don't want to do this, just like gently tap, tap. This is actual procedures. Now if you practice, you need to practice the correct way, okay? Otherwise the problem is when you get used to, okay? When you get used to, for the real client, you will automatically will do this. No, just a gentle touch. Okay, this is called micropigmentation. Now, when you get used to, you might challenge yourself, like make it a bigger circle to do. So now try to practice the dot in between as even as possible. Now a lot of mistake is the people like, okay, to focus on here, oh, okay. And then here, like, you get very tired, oh, okay, you try to rush your job, you try to create more distance. This is no, you try to be even as possible. This is how you practice. So this is again, if you, okay, you don't have enough time doing a small circle, okay, you want to do challenge, make it bigger circle, one more challenge, do a bigger circle, and then you do the whole head. Okay, so like it? Yep. Okay, now of course microblading, you can practice on the paper and using pencils. So now, do you remember I have a video? Okay, I created, make it easier for you. Now the first part, okay, of course you're going to like do some like dash line. Okay, now, okay, of course we're going to draw a spine. Okay, don't forget, like I teach you the transition. Okay, now of course, if you need, you can turn your paper a little bit and make it easier for you. See the green one and then the second one. Okay, this is how you practice your microblading. Now you of course you can add a little bit. Oh, this is okay, not enough. Okay, add a little bit here, there, extra line, you know, it's okay. You know, oh, this is missing one. Okay, you can add a line to cover it up. Now, always when you practice, don't forget to write down the date. Let's say today is so. Now for the long one, you keep everything, okay? When you look back after 1 or 2 months, okay, or a couple days, you look at it, okay, I want to see the improvement, or you already see your improvement by yourself, okay, like it.